A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+. English, that's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to A+ English. I'm Pat.
I'm Elsie.
And we're on day 2 of our story article. We're reading the story of Stone Soup, this traditional folk tale. Lots of different ways to tell this story. We're just looking at one of them. Yesterday we saw that some hungry, tired travelers arrived in a village and they thought they'd ask for food. But all the villagers said, oh, we don't want to feed these people. We're not rich. We don't have lots of food. Let's hide it. So we'll find out what happens today. But what we do know is that the villagers are telling lies. And that leads to our warm-up question. What do you lie about? Is it always bad to tell lies?
I never lie. I've always been honest.
That sounds like a lie to me.
That's a lie already.
Okay.
Okay, so what do I lie about? I should tell some white lies.
Okay.
Like when my husband asks me, hey, do I look good today? I would just say, yes,
sure.
of course you do.
Okay.
Even though he doesn't.
Oh, well. My lies tend to be the kind of lies you tell to children because you have to tell those lies. Things
For example?
like, well, in some cases, it's a good lie. I lie and say, there's Santa. Okay?
Oh, okay.
There isn't Santa, but lying to him, is it really lying? It's more like creating a story so that he gets excited about Christmas and thinks there's a guy in the North Pole who's going to bring him gifts. He doesn't need to know it's us until he's a bit older. So I would say it's not always bad to tell lies because in this case, you're doing it to create kind of fun, magic experiences. Is it really lies or is it more like pretending? It's kind of a gray area.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I don't think it's always bad to tell lies.
Right.
Sometimes it's even better to tell lies.
Yes, it can be. But if it's something important, yeah, best to tell the truth.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's find out what happened with our villagers and their lies. Let's read through day 2.
Stone Soup, a traditional folk tale. Warm-up question. What do you lie about? Is it always bad to tell lies?
We gave our extra food away last week.
The owner of the house lied. The travelers tried again at the next house.
Go away.
The owners said.
We had a bad harvest this year. We don't have any more food.
They lied. The travelers asked at many houses. Every villager gave an excuse not to give them any food. One villager said,
Mice already ate all our food.
Another said,
We're leaving this village soon. We need to take our food with us.
One traveler whispered to the other 2,
Let's play a trick on these people. We'll teach them a lesson.
They came up with a plan.
So yesterday, you might remember the travelers knocked on the door of the first house and said, could you please spare us some food? Now we get the answer. The article says, we gave our extra food away last week. The owner of the house lied.
Okay, so the first house owner lied. 我们看到 owner 这个字是个名词 ，it's a noun， 什么意思呢 ？Let's find out. Owner 这个名词呢，代表主人或是拥有者，所以房子的主人是 the owners of the house。那如果是店家的老板，我们可以说是 a store owner。狗的主人呢，可以是 the dog's owner 或者是 master 也是可以的。So for example, where's the dog's owner? 狗狗的主人呢？ The dog's been sitting under the tree for a long time. 狗狗已经在树下坐了好久了。那再来呢，我们把字尾的 er 拿掉，看到 own own 这个动词代表的是拥有，像是he owns 10 sports cars 代表他拥有10台跑车。那单字例句给的是 Oh, I'm not the owner of this house. I rent it from Mr. Goodman. 我不是这间房子的主人，我是向 Goodman 先生租的。
So in the first day we had people who travel are travelers, people who live in a village are villagers, and now we have people who own something are owners. The owner of the restaurant talked to us after our meal. So the travelers tried the first house and got nothing. So we see the travelers tried again at the next house.
所以呢，旅人就到下一间房子再试一次。
And here we've got just the answer from the people who live there. Go away, the owners said. We had a bad harvest this year.
Harvest 这边当名词用，代表收成、收获量。所以这一位房子的主人就说我们今年收成不好。
Right, this means they tried to grow plants, but maybe it was too much rain, or not enough rain, or animals or bugs ate their food and their harvest was bad. They didn't have many vegetables or fruits or corn or rice or whatever to grow and collect. Also, with a harvest, there's always a party when it's done. After the harvest, which is the action of going out and collecting all this stuff that's been growing, everyone in the village joined in a big meal with music and dancing. You can also use it as a verb. We harvested the crops in the fields.
是的，所以 harvest 还可以当作动词，代表收成。
And we also see the owners of this second house. We don't have any more food, they lied.
他们就骗这些旅人说我们没有多余的食物了 Go away.
Exactly. Well, the article goes on. The travelers asked at many houses.
这里的 ask 代表询问，所以呢，旅人们到了很多间房子询问有没有食物啊 Is there some food for us? No.
No. Here we've got ask at, okay? If you use at, it means a place. This is where you're asking the question. Ask at the front desk for Mr. White. The article goes on, every villager gave an excuse not to give them any food. Oh, we've got a big family, something like that. Oh, the dog's eaten it all. Oh, our food, we got rats, problems, that kind of thing.
那我们看到句首的 every 它代表的是每一个，那后面要加的是可数的单数名词，所以我们看到的是 every villager 用的是单数。
Yeah, like every student in the class has to give a class talk. And here we've got every villager gave an excuse.
They gave an excuse. Excuse 这个名词什么意思呢？ Let's take a look. Excuse 这个名词呢，代表理由或是借口。那编造谎言、编造理由、借口的话，我们可以用 make up an excuse. 那再来，你有理由、有原因。You have an excuse for something. 像是呢 You'd better have a good excuse for being late. 你最好有迟到的好理由。那 excuse 也可以当作动词用哦，代表原谅或是宽恕。像是你跟人家说的 Excuse me 就是用到这个字，好，代表不好意思。For example, please excuse me for getting home late. 这句在说的是请原谅我回家晚了。那单字例句给的是呢 I asked George for help, but he gave me an excuse not to. 我请 George 帮我，但他给了我一个不帮忙的借口。
So your boss might ask, what's your excuse for being late to work? And you say, oh, my car wouldn't start, something like that. Now we're going to hear some of the different excuses the villagers gave. Excuses. One villager said, mice already ate all our food.
老鼠吃掉了我们的食物。
Another said, we're leaving this village soon.
OK, 另外一个也有一个借口 We're leaving this village soon.
Yeah, we don't have any food because we're going. We're not saving any. We're taking it with us.
所以我们看到 leave 这个动词，我们来看看它是什么意思。Leave 这个动词呢，代表离开。那它的三套特别注意哦，是 leave, left, left. 像是呢 It's very late now, we have to leave. 现在好晚了，我们该离开了。那这个是一个不及物动词的用法哦。那另外还有及物动词的用法，我们解释的是呢，人离开之后留下某人或某物。You leave something. 像是在美国你结账之后要留下小费，你可以说 You should leave the tip on the table. 你应该将小费留在桌上。那这个及物动词呢，后面加的就是 the tip. 好，或者是呢，你想要自己一个人，不想要别人来打扰你，你可以说 Leave me alone. 把我一个人留在这儿，不要来烦我。单字例句给的是Jade decided to leave Taiwan and live in Spain. Jade 决定离开台湾到西班牙居住。
Another thing we could say is, what time should we leave for the airport? When do we need to go?
所以 leave for 加上一个目的地，代表你要前往那个地方。
So this villager was saying, we're leaving the village soon, and adds, we need to take our food with us.
我们要离开，所以我们要带走我们的食物。
Okay, so the travelers are getting the idea here. Somehow, no one in this village has any food. And maybe they think, well, if they're all saying something different, if they all said we'd had a bad harvest, maybe they'd believe it.
Right.
You go, okay, reasonable. Everyone's got the same story. But if every single village house has a different story, this doesn't sound right, does it? Something funny is going on here. We're not being told the truth. So we see one traveler whispered to the other two, let's play a trick on these people.
Whisper 这个动词是低声说出耳语，所以像刚刚 pet 那个样子在说话 ，you whispering.
Yeah, talking very quietly. We also have what's called a stage whisper, which is when you're on stage acting and your character should whisper, but still everyone in the audience has got to hear. So you whisper very loudly, if that makes sense. We see another example. The kids were whispering to each other at the back of the classroom.
好啦，那这边看到的是呢，一位旅人跟其他的两位说 Let's play a trick on these people. Play a trick on somebody, 那就是捉弄，对某人恶作剧。
Yeah, you're going to do something to fool them, make them believe something that's not true. The villagers are kind of almost trying to play a trick on the travelers, so now they're going to get it back. And this reminds me of my parents once playing a trick on my brothers and me by putting food color in our milk. So in the morning, when we wanted to have breakfast, we had red milk, green milk, blue milk.
What did you have?
None of it. We all decided we don't want to drink blue milk, so kind of it was wasted. But what the travelers also say is, we'll teach them a lesson.
Wow, we'll teach them a lesson. 这边看到 lesson 这个名词什么意思呢？ Let's take a look. Lesson 这个名词呢，代表经验教训。Learn a lesson 那就是学到经验教训。Learn one's lesson 那代表的是某人学到经验教训。For example, he learned his lesson and would not make the same mistake again. 他学到教训了，不会再犯相同的错误。那如果你要教训某人，给某人上一课 ，you teach somebody a lesson. For example, the teacher decided to teach him a lesson. 老师决定教训他。那当然 lesson 这个字呢，还有一节课、一堂课的意思，或者是课本里面的第一课、第二课 lesson 1, lesson 2。那单字例句给的是When Davy lost his wallet, he learned a lesson about being more careful. 在 Davy 又弄丢他的皮夹之后，这个经验教会了他要更小心。
Right, this isn't a lesson like an English lesson or a math lesson. This is kind of a life lesson. You go, I did something wrong there. I won't do it again. I'm going to be taught a lesson. Somebody will show me what I did was wrong. I made a big mistake when I didn't study for the test. I got a bad grade. But I learned an important lesson from it. Study for tests. So what do these travelers do as they're maybe getting together and whispering? What do we do? How do we teach these villagers a lesson? The article says they came up with a plan.
To come up with something， 那是想出提出，像是这里的 They came up with a plan， 代表他们提出想出一个计划。那还可以提出想出什么东西呢？ We can also come up with an idea， 提出想出一个点子，或者是 come up with a solution， 提出想出一个解决办法。那我们这边先进到 Magic Box 听讲师讲解咯。
Magic
Box。Hello， 大家好，我是艾赛。前几天呢，就是我跟朋友们呢，就是去玩密室逃脱，然后非常怂的我呢，我之前根本就是没有去玩过，所以这次呢，我真的是我的第一次去玩密室逃脱，所以呢，我真的不知道就是在里面真的要干嘛，所以我整个就是一直对啊，好像这个线索也可以，好像那个线索也可以哦。好在我朋友们呢，因为之前玩过，然后他们的脑筋呢，真的动得非常的快。我还在看，就是那个逻辑，因为他给一些线索嘛，我还在看，这个东西在讲什么的时候，他们大概就已经解出来这个答案是什么咯。My friends came up with the answers to solve the puzzles immediately。那破关完后呢，我觉得也算是一个蛮好的体验啦。对，就是可能之后可以再多去几次，就会比较熟悉。好啦，那在刚刚那个例句当中呢，提到今天要教给大家这个 Magic Box， 那就是这个片语 come up with。那这个动词片语呢，表示的意思呢有想出或者是提出，所以在刚刚那个例句中呢，指的就是呢他想出，我朋友们呢想出这个谜底的这个答案。只不过大家记得我们要加上一个介系词 with， 才是表示有想出的意思哦。如果今天呢你只有看到这个动词片语 come up， 表示的意思呢是指什么问题发生这样的一个意思。比方说呢 ，Something has just come up at home, so I need to leave right now。我家发生了一些事情哦，所以呢，我现在必须得要离开了。那其实想出或者是提出呢，我们也可以用另外一个片语 think up 来表示哦。那我们来造一个例句 ：I don't want to go to Kevin's party tonight, but I can't think up any excuses。我今天其实晚上不太想要去 Kevin 的派对哦，但是呢，我想不到任何理由不去。好啦，那希望你们都有学会今天这个 Magic Box 的使用。那我们下次见，拜拜。
Welcome back. So we could also say the students came up with a cool idea for their group project. They could find out what every student's favorite snack was. Now we'll find out what the plan is from these travelers tomorrow. We'll find out how they're going to play a trick on the villagers and teach them a lesson. But right now, let's go to today's review time activity.
Review time.
Okay, so we've talked a lot today about people lying. The villagers are lying, the villagers are tricking stuff. Let's see how good Elsie and I are at lying to one another.
Okay, so we're going to tell lies.
Yeah, kind of. I'm going to say 3 things to you. 2 of these will be absolutely true, but one of them will not be true at all.
So 2 truths and 1 lie.
Right, and you've got to work out which one is the lie.
Okay.
Okay, you think you can manage it?
I think so.
All right.
So number 1.
Number 1, I have eaten swan. Those big white birds with the long necks. Number 2, I have eaten snake. Those animals that are pretty much all neck.
吃过天鹅，吃过蛇。Okay.
And number 3,
right, okay.
I have eaten insects.
吃过昆虫。So which one's the lie here? I would say it's number 1.
That is correct. That is a lie. I have never eaten swan.
Okay, but you've eaten snake and you've eaten, what was the third one?
Insects,
Bugs. Okay.
big crickets. In fact, in the UK, you've got to be careful about swan because a lot of swans, if they're not owned by a farmer, they're actually owned by the queen.
Oh.
So you've
got to be careful.
You've got to be careful about messing with swans. They can also break your arm, so leave them alone. Okay, do you think you can do the same to me? How good are you at lying?
I'm not good at lying. Number 1, I've been married for 3 years.
I know you're married, but...
Number 2, I've had 2 kids.
Now, that's just not true.
Number 3, I have 1 cat, and that's all.
Okay. Well, I think I know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Because if you had 2 children, you would have a lot darker eyes than you do right now.
Okay,
And
so
more
I don't
grey
look
hair.
I have a child.
No, I'm afraid not.
You're right.
Okay, yes, you don't have children. Okay, so that is the end of today's article. But join us again tomorrow for part 3, and we'll find out where we get the idea of the stone soup from. See you then. Bye for now.
Bye.
Stone soup, a traditional folk tale. Warm-up question. What do you lie about? Is it always bad to tell lies?
We gave our extra food away last week.
The owner of the house lied. The travelers tried again at the next house.
Go away.
The owners said.
We had a bad harvest this year. We don't have any more food.
They lied. The travelers asked at many houses. Every villager gave an excuse not to give them any food. One villager said,
Mice already ate all our food.
Another said,
We're leaving this village soon. We need to take our food with us.
One traveler whispered to the other two,
Let's play a trick on these people. We'll teach them a lesson.
They came up with a plan.
Word power. Owner, owner. Oh, I'm not the owner of this house. I rent it from Mr. Goodman. Oh, I'm not the owner of this house. I rent it from Mr. Goodman. Excuse, excuse. I asked George for help, but he gave me an excuse not to. I asked George for help, but he gave me an excuse not to. Leave, 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 left, left. Jade decided to leave Taiwan and live in Spain. Jade decided to leave Taiwan and live in Spain. Lesson, lesson. When Davy lost his wallet, he learned a lesson about being more careful. When Davy lost his wallet, he learned a lesson about being more careful.
认识字汇
Harvest, harvest. Whisper, whisper.